finally able to buy his own home.
I've been fighting the church for compensation for 20 years, and it finally came along, and we were ecstatic.
But that feeling of ecstasy was almost snatched away.
I felt so sick, I actually thought I was physically going to vomit.
4 decades on from when he was first abused by then Anglican priest Garth Hawkins, Steve Fisher's life turned a corner. He recently reached a settlement with the church and with the compensation signed on the bottom line to buy a unit in Devonport.
After what we had to go through to get that money, to have it stolen.
Mr Fisher's conveyancing lawyer's email was hacked. Instead of transferring some of the money to the lawyer, Mr Fisher unwittingly transferred it to the hacker, who changed the bank account details in the lawyer's email. $90,000 gone in an instant.
It was the first thing I thought about. It was all I thought about all day, and it was the last thing I thought about at night before I went to bed.
I have somebody that steal our money. That make me very, very sad. I just want the police lock him and put him in jail. I don't want him to do anybody anymore.
In 2019, Australians lost more than $130 million this way.
These crimes are known as business email compromise scams, and they were the #1 cause of loss in 2019.
The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission says the crime is often difficult to track and the stolen money even more difficult to retrieve. In this instance, Steve Fisher is one of the lucky ones.
There are cases where we are able to notify the banks immediately that a victim's lost money and put a disruption in, so we're able to stop the funds being transferred offshore.
But it was to be another month before the money was back in Mr Fisher's account.
It was the longest month of my life.
The hacker was traced to an address in Queensland, but subsequent investigations were unable to find them or determine if they were a real or fictitious person. As well as ensuring antivirus and malware's up to date, experts say there should also be a follow-up.
Conveyancing lawyers should always call and confirm, not just rely upon an email before they make the payment.
Business email compromises have doubled in numbers since the same time last year, especially during COVID.
Mr Connory says globally more than 400,000 fake phishing email domains were created within a month. The biggest target, frequently a person's biggest life purchase.
Through conveyancing, through sale of property, and crucially at the time that money is being transferred.
In recognition of the growing number of offences, Tasmania's Legal Profession Board says there's been an increased focus on educating the profession specifically around IT security, and every practising lawyer must have professional indemnity insurance.
Recently, that policy has been updated to include an add-on element specifically in relation to cyber fraud.
Especially given the way and the reason I got the money, to have it taken was terrible. It's horrible.
A nightmare at long last over, and the dream of home ownership finally realised. Ederle Ward, ABC News.